Hello everyone, welcome to English Now. Our today's topic is think and speak in English. How to talk about your daily life fluently in English. We are going to talk about this thing in today's video. How to think in English. Before you speak, you have to start thinking in English. So let's start the video with discussing. The video will be useful for whom? For job seekers and working professional. Anyone who's working or anyone who's seeking the job, or self-learners and English enthusiasts. The video will be useful for them as well. So let's start the video with my asking you, do you translate from your mother tongue before speaking English? When you have to speak anything, before speaking English, do you also think first in your mother tongue, or do you think first in English and take some time and then speak slowly? If either of the cases happen with you, then yes, this video is exactly for you. That's exactly why you're not fluent yet, because you're taking time. You're thinking in English firstly, or you're thinking in your mother tongue first. But what if I tell you, you can start speaking English directly from your thoughts without translating. Whichever thought comes to your mind, directly from that you can start speaking English. Today I'll show you how to think and speak in English using your daily life in a very simple, practical and powerful way. So we will understand some situations in which you can improve your English. So in this video you'll learn how to talk about your routines. For example, your morning routine when you wake up in the morning, the afternoon routine when you go to your work or different events, in the evening time when you take some relaxed time, or hanging out with your friends or your acquaintances, and even some storytelling. Each one of these we'll discuss one by one, and by the end of the video you'll be able to describe your whole day confidently in English without thinking in your first language or thinking slowly. So let's dive in by talking about the first thing, which is morning routine. Start your day in English even inside your mind. You have to think in your mind all the events that happen to you. For example, if you wake up at 6 a.m. and you say, I wake up at 6 a.m. So you can say at that time, right after waking up at 6 a.m., you can say, I wake up at 6 a.m. I get out of bed and stretch a little. If you're taking your hand and stretching a little in the morning, you can say, I get out of bed and stretch a little and take some relaxed time. And then the day goes on and you go to clean your teeth. So you can say, I brush my teeth and wash my face. This is the activity that you do in the morning right after waking up. I brush my teeth and wash my face. And right after that, you go and prepare a cup of tea for yourself. So at that time you can say, I make a cup of tea, in a very simple way. These are very simple sentences, and now we are going to talk about how to upgrade this, how to say in a slightly better way. So let's start doing that. I usually wake up early, but today I woke up late. I feel fresh and ready for the day. I quickly get ready because I'm running late. This is what you can say, and right after me you have to repeat as well to be in practice and to do a little bit of tongue exercise. The tip is that you don't have to memorize. You have to visualize your actions that you do in the morning and describe them directly in English, in your thoughts. These events should keep going on in your thoughts in English. So let's talk about now about the afternoon routine. Now let's move to the afternoon. So in afternoon, there can be a lot of situations that you can do. For example, if you go to your work or college, you can say, I go to work or I go to college. So I go to these places to attend meetings, or I attend classes if you have classes at that time. At the time of taking a lunch, you can say, I have my lunch around 2 p.m. These are small things that you would say. After this, we'll talk about how to make it in a natural way. I'm a bit tired, so I take a short break. I chat with my colleagues, I finish my task before leaving. Speak what you actually do. Don't overthink, just say it in English. After this, we'll talk about the evening routine. So let's talk about that. This is the time where you relax a little, and this is a time to practice more in English as well. So let's talk about the routine that you follow in English. For example, if you come back to home from your work, you can say, I come back home in the evening. I freshen up and relax. If you go out with your family, with your colleagues, with anyone to freshen up, you can say these things, and then you can talk about the other event that happens. For example, if you use your phone, you can say, I use social media, or I scroll my phone. Just simple these things that happens almost every day, and everyone does it. So you can say, I use social media or scroll my phone. Now let's upgrade this. What else you can say instead of using these simple words? I spend some time with my family. I go for a walk to clear my mind. I try to learn something new every day. These are the upgraded versions of the earlier ones. You can add some emotions also to these. For example, if you feel relaxed, you can say, I feel relaxed. I feel tired but satisfied. You have to feel also before speaking. You have to think and feel, and then speak directly. Now let's talk about hanging out. When you go out with friends, this is your golden chance. You can talk about hanging out. For example, if you met your friends yesterday, you can say, I met my friends yesterday. We went to a cafe. We talked for hours. This is what usually happens between friends. So let's make it interesting by using some other words instead of using these simple words. These are very simple words. If you're a beginner, you can use any of these. And if you're an advanced learner and you want to use some other words, you can use these. We laughed a lot. If you met with your friends and you had a good laugh, you can say, we laughed a lot. If you shared stories, you can say, we shared stories after meeting at the cafe or at the park. We had a great time together. We met, had a lovely time, great time together. We were hanging out in the garden or in the park. Practice in real life, even if your friends don't speak English, thinking in English whilst talking. So whichever time you get, even some seconds time or sometimes a minute's time you get, you have to think in English inside your head and then speak in your first language, which can be your mother tongue as well. This way you'll be in touch with English regularly, and this is ultimately going to help you a lot later on. Now let's talk about some story time. Every event that happened, how you can summarize these in a story. Let's combine everything into a story. For example, we have an example story also. I will speak and you have to repeat after me. Yesterday was a busy day. I woke up late, so I rushed to get ready. I skipped breakfast, which was a bad idea. It wasn't a good idea, skipping a breakfast. It was a bad idea. In the afternoon, I felt tired and couldn't focus properly, but I somehow managed to finish my work. In the evening, I met my friends. We went ahead, we went out, laughed a lot, and forgot all the stress. And by the end of the day, I felt happy and relaxed. So this was our story. You have to repeat right after me. You have to speak your daily life like a story and be in practice every day. Now after this, let's talk about conclusion. What is a conclusion? What we have learned out of learning this. In the conclusion section, we'll say if you really want to speak English fluently, stop translating. Start thinking in English. Use your daily life as practice. Every event that happens in your life, you have to think in English. So I'm giving you a task. From tomorrow morning, you don't just have to live your day, but describe your day in English. And trust me, fluency will follow if you practice these things. So make a 7 days chart and follow this strict rule to be able to speak English and make your fluency better. How did you like the video? You can share thoughts. We'll meet again. Until then, thank you for watching the video.